So I have a problem, an unfortunate problem. I just can't stick to worlds for very long within Minecraft. Not sure why, I just lose motivation to continue after certain points, usually the AFK for resources stage. Instead of just ending the series entirely like it's my 2 attempts at All the Mods 9 series, I just make new worlds, with new gimmicks and more create mod stuff to do. This time, I decided to switch things up, this time choosing to do SUPERFLAT. I am Bedrock Burger, your local only person that likes a new Destiny 2 portal system. This pack that I custom made for this world includes many crate add-ons for the newest update and a few custom recipes for obtaining items that are either unobtainable in SUPERFLAT or extremely rare trades from the Wandering Trader, like froglates and crude oil from the Factory Must Grow, dripstone spikes, and certain flowers like rose bushes, completely unobtainable in SUPERFLAT, so I just made recipes. One additional difference with this pack is the theme. In my last worlds, I didn't really have a theme of sorts, but this time it's a space theme. We got a lot of open area, 1500 blocks tall because of another mod, so why not fill it? If you want to see cool builds based around the final frontier, subscribe and maybe even leave a suggestion for me to build. I got plans, but hey, I can do more. To finish this lengthy intro, do the usual stuff the algorithm demands of us. Liking, subscribing, and all of that. Also, check out my memberships and Patreon. These people are cool. Let us now begin this new tale of a SUPERFLAT world. Loading into the world for the first time, I had only a single objective: locate the nearest village. Villagers would be essential for many resources within this world, including redstone, so it was paramount that I get villagers trapped in holes for my amusement. Fortunately, one was within range of render distance, so I sprinted right to it, dodging around the slimes. This village had a new house in it from one of the Create Mod add-ons that I installed, adding a few new villager professions to the mod. I set up inside that one after stealing everything not nailed down, then started on progression, making a dirt crate from a mod I just recently showcased on my channel, Create Skyblock and SUPERFLAT Creates. This crate gave dirt, oak saplings, and bone meal when broken. For the start, I'd make a good amount of the first few tiers of these crates to get resources like iron nuggets and andesite. It was going slow, so I just decided to wander, sprinting to other villages nearby to try and find one major building, the blacksmith. Did I find it initially? No, of course not. I killed an iron golem for my first iron, getting my next iron from a village house with a raw iron block. It would come in much use when I start making iron automation. Eventually, after a little bit more exploring, I did find lava at a blacksmith, which is a total game changer and what I'd use as a base for a majority of my automation, as a lot of stuff with Create starts with cobblestone, and with the lava I could make cobblestone generators. For now though, I placed them in holes in the ground until I obtained dripstone. At the time, I was gonna wait for a trade from the Wandering Trader, but I added a recipe later because after 10 hours of AFKing and 7 Wandering Traders, it didn't sell dripstone spikes. The recipe addition would come later on, as at the moment I needed to protect my area, make a starter Create setup, and shove a bunch of villagers into a home to trade with. One of these villagers sold andesite, so I was now in business. I set up a number of water wheels outside and made the basic Create starter things, a press and a mixer. These were super slow at first, but it was a start. I put one of my few lava sources and a water source in a basin, and it started to make cobblestone. This recipe is added by a mod I also covered on the channel recently. Side note, shout out to Robin FRT, makes some crazy good Create add-ons. With this mixing setup, I now had as much cobblestone as I could ever need. Slow at first, but it'll be scaled up over time. Trust the process. With cobblestone obtained, it was time to make a starter house. Not automate just yet, as the automation comes soon. I did also add the dripstone spike recipe at this time using clay, so I made a small setup with cauldrons I had looted and added a pump and a tank to store lava. I fenced in my area and made a schematic of a small house. No glass just yet, as getting glass is a whole other process. I deconstructed the small village house, then set up a schematic cannon to fire out the new one. It didn't take too long to shoot out, and with the new house built and everything moved inside, it was finally time to work on automation. I did need some things first though. I wanted to get sand, so I decided to try and get obsidian so I can make another portal. You need crushing wheels to make sand from gravel, but I didn't have any quartz to make the mechanical crafter components. I already had gravel from milling cobblestone. Gravel, unfortunately, can't be milled into sand. It has to be crushed into sand. I assumed the drill and hand crank would be enough to break obsidian, but it wasn't. I then had an idea. Go me, having ideas. I had enough lava to where I could do the speedrun strat of making obsidian with water and lava and just make myself a nether portal. I'd need blaze burners eventually, but I was here for quartz, as I would need crushing wheels soon enough to get sand. Sand will be important soon, and even more important for what's coming in the next episode. You'll see. One thing I remember randomly was that terracotta can be put in a millstone to make red sand, and red sand can be mixed with paper to craft sandpaper, which could then be used to make polished rose quartz. I had found paper in a village house, so I was set. So I went right into making crushing wheels. I did need more water wheels on my setup though, but voila, crushing wheels. I could definitely get sand now, but I wanted to get some things done first. I set up a small automatic crop farm so I could trade for emeralds. It uses a mechanical bearing and mechanical harvesters to automatically harvest and place the crops into a chest. It would be one of my starter sources for emeralds, as I kidnapped a villager and made it buy my carrots and potatoes. The main resource I would need to automate next was iron, so I got right to it. It actually didn't take too long, only about 30 minutes, and it ran really slow to start, but it was just enough to get me going. To explain this automation, a cobblestone generator mixed water and lava to generate cobble, which was then put onto a belt. From the belt, a millstone ground it into gravel. This gravel was then washed, as in case Fam blew water on the belt with gravel, to give it a chance at making flint and a small chance at making an iron nugget. Was it slow? Yes, very. Was it enough to boost this burger into industrialization? Absolutely. Iron nuggets started to flow and I was able to use them to make andesite alloy, enough to start working on sand automation. This one's really similar to the iron farm, but instead of washing the gravel is ran through a set of crushing wheels, turning it into sand with a chance of making flint and a much lower chance of making clay. Spamming water wheels works, folks. The issue now was the lack of a handful of other resources like gold, zinc, and copper. There is one material that can be crushed to make nuggets of all those materials, and said material can be automated through the Create Ultimate Factory mod. I've already covered it twice in video form before, so if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know exactly what it is. It's tough. In base Create, it can't be automated, but in this pack, it can. You can run it through crushing wheels to make 6 materials: gold nuggets, iron nuggets, copper nuggets, flint, electrum nuggets from crafts and additions, and zinc nuggets. A lot of very useful materials. As usual, start with cobblestone. 16 cobblestone can be mixed with water to make the tuff, which was raised from the 3 cobble the last time I did a farm like this. The tuff is then run through crushing wheels, and it makes all the nuggets. Easy, but slow right now. Too slow. Way too slow. If I wanted to do this Space City theme, I'm going to need to step up on an extremely important material: copper. You see, there's a Create add-on called Create Mechanical Botany, and it adds machines that grow flowers. Flowers that can be made into dye. Dye that can be made into concrete. Concrete I can use for just about everything city related. You get the idea. Copper important. So I got to work, as I have another add-on that allows for the creation of Viridium, a stone type within Create that can be crushed to make raw copper and copper nuggets. It's made with flint, clay, and a little bit of lava. I already have all 3 of those automated, but I wanted a separate farm for just the copper. So I started, as usual, with a cobblestone mixer. Mill the cobblestone to make gravel, crush the gravel to make sand, flint, and clay. I send the flint into its own side and use an encased fan to wash the sand, which has a low % chance to also make clay. They all get put into a basin along with lava from my earlier dripstone lava farm, then mixed to make the Viridium. This new Viridium is crushed with crushing wheels to give an 80% chance for raw copper ore to be made and an 80% chance for a copper nugget to be made. I love automation. When I upgrade these to an industrial scale, it'll be amazing, but that'll have to wait a bit, as that wraps up this episode. The final thing I did before moving on to the next project was add a painting of my dog who recently passed away into my starter house. I do miss my little buddy, but I'll remember him through his many pictures. But this was a very good start to a new SUPERFLAT Create world. If you liked the video, let me know in the comments, as I do read all of them and sassily reply to any hate comments. In the next video, I set up a starter concrete factory, so I can start on my space-themed city. Stay tuned for that hopefully next week. This contraption is very large. I'm already building it on creative. Thank you all for coming and watching. Bedrock Burger, out.